welcoming you to the practice of Yoga Nidra. This is a 30-minute guided relaxation meditation. And it requires that we spend a little bit of time getting settled at the beginning so that we can really enjoy this. So I'll talk you through some of the things you might like to have nearby for this practice. You can do this practice seated. You can do this practice reclining or somewhere in between those two. You might be lying on the floor, a bed, or sitting in a nice, comfy, easy chair. So wherever you are, I invite you to take a moment or two to get all those things you need. You might like a glass of water for when we finish our practice. You might like a little snack for at the very end, like a little piece of dark chocolate if that's not something, that's contraindicated for you. And if you're lying down or even if you're sitting, you might like a blanket, especially for covering the feet. So we can experience our body temperatures dropping during this practice. So it's recommended that we cover up. So taking a moment to get any wiggles or squiggles out of the body. Yes, taking off your glasses, massaging the area around the eyes. We're just getting settled here, getting into a comfortable posture. That might be seated, that might be reclining. And I want to let you know that you're welcome to change the posture at any time during our session. So we're going to begin by maybe just taking a few clearing, cleansing breaths together, in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Breathing in, breathing out. And beginning to enter into this space of Yoga Nidra. Following the thread of the breath as we begin to open up to all of the sounds in the room around you. And just more fully arrive in whatever state of being you're in. You're completely welcome to be here. Yoga Nidra is a practice where we are looking to find that space between being awake and being asleep. And we're hoping that we can play within this space. This is a very fertile ground, this part of our consciousness where our brain waves have slowed down. So we'll start by, again, getting a little bit more deeply settled. I'll invite you to take a breath in, and as you exhale, you can allow your body to just rest and sink in to the support below. So we're taking some easy breaths and just observing the flow of that breath in and the flow of that breath out, beginning to stop doing and start being. So let's breathe in again and begin to soften all the parts of the body wherever they are touching the support. Setting a boundary around this time and this space for yourself. We are taking a pause in order to recharge ourselves all layers. And as we observe the soundscape all around us, we can begin to move a little bit closer to the sounds that are right nearby. So noticing the sounds all around you and then coming a little closer and making sure that you're muted. Perhaps you can observe the sound of your own breath. As we go into deeper states of being with Yoga Nidra, I'll invite you to remain alert and aware to the sound of my voice. Remaining alert and aware to the sound of my voice and just following the instructions that I'm giving you, but also giving yourself permission to do something different or be something different than what I am offering. Filling up the body with your breath and releasing the breath all the way out. I am practicing Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a state of being. Well, now I'll invite you to just turn your attention to the mind space. This place at the center of the eyebrows or behind the center of the eyebrows. With eyes softly closed, without strain, we're gazing into this space. And maybe there's nothing there, and that's okay. Maybe we can observe, like the backs of our eyelids, any kind of movement, pattern, color. Just observing the mind space, noticing what's there or what isn't. And as we play in the mind space, we can allow ourselves to begin to just listen for any intuitive intentions that we might need to hear at this moment. Very good. Now I'll invite you to take a tour of your body, and we're going to stop in many places throughout the body. The only thing moving is the mind, unless, of course, you really need to move. So we're going to move the mind around the body, just journey around the body, and visit various places, just observing. Starting with the right thumb, bringing your awareness to the right thumb. right second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and the fifth finger, back of the right hand, center of the right hand. And we can try to fill up the entire right hand with our awareness, just noticing what's there. Looking within the right wrist, right forearm, right elbow, right upper arm, and the right shoulder. Seeing what it would feel like if we were to try to fill the entire right arm with our awareness, from shoulder down to fingertips, the entire right arm. Letting any effort drain from the entire right arm. And now shifting our awareness over to the left thumb, left second finger, left third finger, fourth finger, and the fifth finger. Back of the left hand and center of the left palm. See what it would feel like to fill up the entire left hand with your awareness, just noticing what's there. Looking within the left wrist, left forearm, left elbow, left upper arm, left shoulder, inhabiting the entire left arm with our awareness from the shoulder all the way down to the fingertips. What would it feel like to try and release any effort from the entire left arm? Very good. Now let's move the awareness all the way down to all 10 toes. We're just observing what's there or what isn't, moving the awareness to all 10 toes, starting with the big toes and fanning outwards. Noticing each individual toe and the webbing between each toe. The bottom or soles of both feet. The tops of both feet. And the heels. Filling up both feet with your awareness and draining effort from both feet. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to be right now, but right here. Looking within both ankles and both shins and calves. Both knees. Both thighs. And both hips. Moving the awareness to fill up the entire right leg, from the hip down to the toes. The entire right leg is doing nothing. Moving the mind to the entire left leg, filling it up with your awareness, starting at the hip and moving down to the toes. The entire left leg is doing nothing. And now let's move our minds to the belly, the lower abdomen, and the upper abdomen. And we might allow this part of the body to soften. We might notice the breath moving in and out of the belly, giving ourselves permission to soften here in the belly. Dropping an anchor of awareness down from the belly to the lower back and sacrum. Gently moving the awareness from the tailbone up the spine to the lower back and the middle back. The upper back, the shoulder blades, the whole entire spine. Moving the mind to the rib cage as it encircles the heart and lungs. Moving the mind to the heart center and just observing what is there, whether there is a feeling of being in the heart center. We are filling up the entire torso, front, sides, and back with the awareness. The entire torso is simply being. Moving the mind now to the throat, the lower jaw, in the upper jaw, both lips, the cheekbones, and all of the muscles surrounding the eyes, the eyelids, and the eyeballs, allowing the eyeballs to rest within their sockets. The eyebrows, the temples, and the forehead. All of the muscles in the face can smooth out and drain of any expression or effort. All the skin on the scalp, both ears, everything in between both ears, just observing what's there. And letting it go as we come to the base of the skull. And now I'll invite you to fill up your entire body with your awareness. The head, neck and face, the torso, the arms and the legs. Every part of your physical body is doing nothing. And with the body relaxing, we can allow the creativity of the mind to play and to be open to receiving any intuitions from deeper within. So I'll invite you to come back to the mind space if that feels comfortable, observing this area at the center of the eyebrows, the backs of the eyelids, as if it were a movie screen. And allowing images or colors, patterns, textures to bloom up against this backdrop in the mind. Perhaps there is a favorite landscape that you would like to visit. And you can take a moment to imagine yourself there and what it would feel like to be in this favorite place. Perhaps as you imagine this favorite landscape, there's a special person you would like to spend time with, be in the presence of. You can imagine in your mind's eye how this person makes you feel. Or you can remain in your landscape on your own as well. like to receive from your inner guide, from your higher self. Just listening and noticing if anything comes to you. Returning to our mind space. And once again, gazing at that movie screen in the mind. Are there any intuitive intentions that you would like to plant here for yourself? Any guidance you would like to reaffirm? Whispering it here as a sacred promise that you can make to yourself, to your future self, from your present self. And now we'll begin to exit from our deeper state of being and slowly begin to externalize our minds to the room around us. We're not in any hurry to leave the Yoga Nidra space, and if you need to stay here longer, you're welcome to be here as long as you need. If we're ready to begin exiting the Yoga Nidra space, we're going to do so very, very gradually, beginning to widen out awareness to the room around you, the sounds around you, and just noticing what's there in the room around you. Noticing the temperature of the air on your face. Beginning to come back into the breath. Finding a few easy breaths here as we come back. And if there are any movements the body's asking for, we could begin to make some small movements. I like to lick my lips or swallow, or maybe simulate a yawn. Coming back into the Yoga Nidra space, I might just move my head from side to side. I might lift my shoulders up, back, and down. If I'm reclining, I might very gradually come to lie on my side and give myself an extra big hug in either spot, whether I'm seated or reclining, giving myself a hug of gratitude for just trying something today and resting, taking care of myself by taking a pause so that I can fill up my well. Perhaps coming all the way up to sit if you're ready to do so, so I can close out our practice. Exiting the Yoga Nidra space is just as important as entering it. So whatever insights, whatever thoughts or feelings came up for you during this practice, you could take a moment to kind of let them settle and percolate if there was anything you're taking away. Maybe you're taking away the idea that you needed to rest, and that is very normal, because we very rarely actually stop and slow down and give ourselves the opportunity to kind of do nothing. So whatever things you're observing or you observed in this state, just noticing them. And thanking you so much for your practice today, friends. Namaste.